And we got rid of a very sinister thing, the Johnson Amendment, so that pastors can speak the truth that's in their hearts. You know, I'll tell you, I was in a boardroom early on. Paula was there. A couple of people in the room were there. But we had about 50 pastors, some rabbis. We had people from a few different religions. And I was just running. I'd never done it before. So it was very early in the campaign. It was in early 2016. And Trump Tower was 68 stories up in the air, a beautiful boardroom, and places loaded up with these people. And they were all excited. And then at the end, I said, I'd love to have your support. And the room went dead silent. Do you remember? It's like, I said, what happened? I know you like me. What happened? Well, would like to talk to you about it later. Anyway, I said, all right, but if we could leave and we'll have another meeting maybe, but I would love to have your support. And there was, again, no answer. And I said, well, we'll figure this out. And I went to Paula and some of the others after. And I said, could I ask you, I know when I'm doing well, when I'm doing poorly, and I was doing really well. And then when I asked for support, it was like stone cold silence. They said, we have something called the Johnson Amendment, that if a pastor, minister, rabbi, or imam, or anybody says anything about politics, you can lose your tax-exempt status. I said, you got to be kidding. So that's what happened. And they were petrified of it. Yeah. Remember that? Nobody even wanted to talk about it. They were absolutely, they became a different group of people. And I pledged to them at the next meeting, we had another meeting a couple of weeks later with a similar group of people. I pledged to them that if I win, we're going to get rid of the Johnson Amendment. This was Lyndon Johnson, who had a tremendous fight with a minister from, I believe it was Houston or Dallas. And they didn't like each other. And Lyndon Johnson was a very powerful president. He had good power, good strength. He ended up being very weakened by the position. But he had tremendous power. He was a big deal maker. And he got that done, which is pretty amazing that he could get that done. Everybody fought him, but he got it done. He pushed it through Congress, where you lose your tax-exempt status if you even utter a word about politics. And that was amazing when I heard that. I never heard of that before. And I said, we're going to get rid of it. And we got rid of it. You have got, because you're the people we want to hear from. We want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from a lot of people. I hear from too many people. You're the people we respect. Franklin is incredible. All of the people that are up here, I want to hear from these people. And they come from a different place than me. I come from a business place where there's a lot of rough people, bad people, not really religious people. There are some. But you're the people that I want to hear from. That's why we go to church on Sundays, or we go to wherever we are to listen to people of faith. And it was horrible. I said, you mean, when I heard that, and I said to the other people, that means that you should be the most powerful people on earth, in a sense, and yet you have less power. And I pointed down to Fifth Avenue, which was 68 stories below, and I said, that means that anybody on Fifth Avenue, in theory, has more power than you do. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the opposite. We have to give your voices back. And I've given you voices back, and that's one of the reasons that we see upticks now, I think, in religion. So it's very important. Remember that moment when I said, I'd love to have your support, ladies and gentlemen? And it was like dead silence. I said, there's something going on. And we figured it out. We did something about it. So thank you. Thank you very much to Paula White, too.